hear it. He's like, I don't hear it either. And I said, well, you put the clothes in the dryer though, right? He's like, yeah. I said, did you turn it on?
He stands them straight up. Does he not know we have kids?
Hello besties, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever dealt with weaponized incompetence? Like, you ask for help from your partner and somehow you end up doing double the work because they do it just strong enough that you end up fixing it yourself, or they end up gaslighting you and say, you didn't tell me to do it that way. How am I supposed to know how to do it right? Have you ever been in that situation? Well, today we're talking about something a lot of women deal with, and it is weaponized incompetence. This term simply means when someone pretends not to know how to do something properly. And the reason why they do this is so that you won't ask them to do it again. And when you point it out, you are suddenly the bad person for telling them what they should know. Like, as an adult, there are things you should have learned through the stages of life. We've got two clips to react to. The first is a laundry situation that turned into pure gaslighting. And then the second involves a man who finally yielded to his wife's request to do the dishes, and he ends up making the help unsafe for his kids. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be back with my thoughts at the end. Let's get into it.
So we got home, we were unpacking some stuff. Max went to sit down and I was like, hey, there's some clothes in the washer. Can you put the clothes from the washer into the dryer? And he was like, cool, I got you. So we went and did that. I didn't think anything of it. I'm here like getting some stuff out, probably about to marinate some chicken and make some kimchi and stuff. And I noticed that I'm not really hearing anything because, you know, dryer, you can hear the dryer going. And so I'm like, hey, is the dryer on? And we all stop, listen, and we're like, no, it's not on. So I look at Max and I'm like, hey, did you put the clothes in the dryer like I asked you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I don't hear it. He's like, I don't hear it either. And I said, well, you put the clothes in the dryer though, right? He's like, yeah. I said, did you turn it on? He says, no. And I'm like, you put the clothes in the dryer, but you didn't turn it on? Girl, get off my counter. Off my counter. And he's like, yeah, I put the clothes in the dryer. And I'm like, you put the clothes in the dryer, but you didn't turn on the dryer. So there's just wet clothes in the dryer? And he, dead serious now. He looks at me and he said, you told me to put the clothes in the dryer.
Ridiculous.
Which he did. So I take a beat and I'm just like, okay. I asked him, I said, walk me through your process. When I asked you to put the clothes in the dryer, what did you think I meant? And he was like, I put the clothes in the dryer. You told me to put the clothes in the dryer. And I said, okay, let me.
Listen, I complain all the time that my husband doesn't do the dishes. I complain all the time. And then when he finally does, this is what he does. This is what he does.
Ridiculous.
He stands them straight up. Does he not know we have kids? Does he not know we have clumsy kids at that? This is what goes through a mom's head. I'm doing the dishes, I'm putting the dishes up, and then here comes my clumsy 6-year-old, my clumsy toddler, pokes an eye out. Why do men not think of those things? Why? Does he know we have kids? I think he should. And I can't complain because he did the dishes. He did them. Yep, he did them. And I'm thankful. But also, in my head, my kids lost an eye today because of you.
So let me know in the comments, have you ever dealt with this kind of help that felt more like sabotage? So as you see in the first clip, a woman tells her partner to help with laundry. All she needed was just for him to move the clothes from the washer to the dryer. That's it. He moves the clothes, but he did not turn the dryer on. She asked, why is the machine not running? He eats how it's, well, you didn't say I should turn it on. Like, this is not about not knowing. This is someone doing just enough to say, I helped, but not enough to make any real impact. Now let's walk into the second home. It's the same energy, but in different setup. This woman's husband finally helps with the dishes. Typically, you would say, he's a good man, he's trying, right? At least he listened. But does it need to be taught that sharp knives are not to be placed face up, especially since they have toddlers? These are things that parents naturally know, that an accident is waiting to happen. But here's the worst part. She doesn't even feel like she can correct him, because the second she tries to correct him, he will come again with, at least I helped you. And that's why I've not been helping all along. That is why I've not been doing it, because you're going to hit me with, I didn't do it right. That's why I've not been helping you with this kind of task. Now she's left with this option, stay silent and quietly fix it. Both of these real stories actually shows the same problem. And that is someone doing just wrong enough to avoid doing it again. And then they make their partner feel guilty for noticing. That's not help. That's not partnership. That's weaponized incompetence. This is what we mean by the mental load. It's not just doing the task, it's thinking ahead. Men need to think ahead. They think that because they just assist, that is it. They rarely think ahead, and that is why when it seems like they are helping, they create another task for the woman in the process. Now, we're not here to judge men, right? We're just trying to draw attention to things that they subtly do to women and their partners. This isn't about men not knowing how to do stuff, because let's be very honest, at the office is very handy. Like when you need help at the office, you can always run to him. He's always there to help and assist. At home, it doesn't know where the start button to a washing machine is. Get me thinking, even if he feels embarrassed to ask his wife how to do it, we have different places you can learn how to do basic stuff. He could go to YouTube to learn, but he chooses not to because he doesn't want to be accountable. He intentionally gets things wrong so that would never ask him to do something again. And the worst part is, it always works. Because women are tired. That is why they would rather choose to do the task by themselves instead of calling on their partner to come do it. And this is how resentment sets in. And then when the woman finally chooses to walk out of the relationship, the man says, but they did everything right. Why is she suddenly leaving? They forgot the years that the woman has been trying to speak to them, but they were not listening. And then she finally chose herself and walked away. Go about telling everybody that, oh, they were so good to her, they were very nice to her. No, you weren't. You were not good to her. You were good to your colleagues. You were good to your friends. You were helpful to your friends, but not your partner. That really is how burnout spreads. That is how resentment begins to grow. Ladies, this is not just about the knives and the laundry. This is to expose the subtle manipulation that women have been going through over the years. A lot of women are mentally, emotionally weighed down in their marriage from dealing with partners who give the bare minimum and then goes away getting the pats on the back. Society has conditioned men to just do half care, receiving all of the praises, whereas the woman is expected to do everything. She is still not appreciated enough. The day she gets exhausted, people begin to call the woman lazy. Women are expected to do it all. Women are expected to do it right without complaining. You are not crazy for being exhausted. You're not crazy for being upset when your sanity is being compromised by someone who claims to love you but won't take responsibility. It's only using weaponized incompetence against you. That is manipulation. When someone claims to help but makes the help worse than it was in the beginning, that is manipulation. That is not help. That is sabotage. Emotional sabotage at that. We are supposed to be partners. If his parents didn't teach him right, you are not there to teach. You have other weightier things to talk about. You have your own kids to train. You're not to teach him how to keep his clothes right. His mom should have done that for him. You have other things to take care of. If he drops it there, you leave it there. When it comes back, it comes to pick it up until he learns. I don't mean to be petty, but a way to teach lessons is to mirror actions. You can call me petty if you want, though. See, if he doesn't do the dishes right, you can serve him with that plate. In his presence, let him know you want to serve him with the plate he didn't clean right. He's gonna come, oh no, why would you do that? It's dirty, but you know it's dirty. But you that watched it know it's dirty. Why didn't you redo it right? Why did you just put them away for me to take care of? He will tell you, no, don't serve me in that plate. Oh, well, I'll serve you. You did it. It's okay. I appreciate your effort. Honey, you did it right. I like how you did the dishes. Thank you. I appreciate your effort. That's it. I bet you he won't ever leave that plate messy next time. That single act, you didn't fight him, you didn't argue with him. Oh no, but you did. I appreciate it. I appreciate your effort. You did the dishes. That's so sweet of you. I'm going to serve him in that. that will make him sit upright, because he knows if he doesn't do the dishes right, he is going to eat with it. You're going to serve him food with that plate. It's not every fight that requires arguments. You don't need to fight him over everything. You can use your feminine energy to get things done. You need to stop shrinking yourself to keep the peace. You need to stop tiptoeing around incompetence just because you want to avoid conflict. You need to stop silently fixing things just because you feel it is easier to fix it yourself than to get him do it. If you keep managing them, you keep getting burnt out. He would never learn. You deserve real partnership. You deserve accountability. You deserve someone who would take corrections when he does wrong and not make excuses for it. You deserve someone who is willing to help you and not sabotage you emotionally. The longer you tolerate this behavior, the longer the circle continues, the more weaponized incompetency continues. How long more will you continue to complain? You are not asking for too much, so set the boundary right. Show him what needs to be done without arguing with him. If it becomes defensive at that, good. Let him go back, sit in and think. Let him learn the lessons and change. Weaponized incompetency thrives in silence. You've got your power back. You're done being quiet. And that is exactly how you're going to break the cycle of weaponized incompetency. That is how you're going to correct things in your home. I know that some women watching this also deal with this situation that leaves them stressed. Maybe it's laundry, maybe it's dishes, maybe it's packing for a trip, or even watching the kids. So tell me your story. What's the most ridiculous thing that someone has done under the name of helping you? Comment below. Let me know what you think about this. Like this video. If someone came to your mind while you watch this video, be it your partner or a friend who is going through this, share this video with them. Subscribe, all the things, okay? You'd see a couple of thumbnails. Click on anyone that interests you. And stay tuned for more videos. To my returning viewers, thank you so much for your support. I love you so much. Bye.